The musical greats know and will say what sets a great musician apart from a good musician is not how many scales you know, not whether you know the cage system inside out, not how many notes you can play in a minute. It's rhythm, timing, feel, groove. That's what sets them apart. Now, some of that stuff I listed is useful, it's good to know and be able to do, but none of that means anything if you don't have good rhythm and timing. I've had quite a few comments from subscribers requesting videos on rhythm and timing and how it can be used to make your playing more interesting. So I thought I'd start at the absolute beginning, how to play with a click. Playing with a click is vital to improving your timing. Now, I know at this point, a lot of people will leave the video. This is not the glamorous stuff. This is the 4 a.m. gym session that pro athletes do almost every morning. It's not for everyone. Not many enjoy it, but if you want to get better, it needs to be done. Now, my first piece of advice is actually to do exactly what I said some people would do. Leave this video, find yourself a guitar tutor, a reputable guitar tutor who works with a click and can help guide you through the process. I know it could be expensive, but for the sake of 3 or 4 lessons over maybe the space of 3 or 4 months, it will get you closer to where you want to be. Now, failing that, I'm going to show you as best I can over YouTube how to play with a click, how to really work with a click if you're not entirely sure. Okay, first of all, you're going to need a metronome, a click. I like Pro Metronome. It's a free app. The free version is really good. It's really malleable. You can do loads of stuff with it. So I have Pro Metronome on my phone. I have it on my iPad as well. It looks like this. And during this lesson, everything's going to be at 70 BPM. Now, when I first start out teaching this to people, I like to get my students doing dead notes. So take your left hand, lightly place the fingers across the strings, just touching the strings, no pressure applied. And you should get that nice, almost snare-like kind of sound. Now, if we put the click on, my goal here is to make the click disappear as much as possible. Now, if I go intentionally out of time, maybe I'll go late. You can very clearly hear the click and then my guitar a split second later. Now I'll go slightly early. You can hear my guitar and then the click. What we're going for that kind of sound. Now, if you're struggling to tell whether you're playing in time or not when you're doing that, that's fine. There's a lot of information you're getting strum, and then before your brain has even had a second to think, was that in time? The next strum's coming along, and then you're like, oh, were they both in time? And then the next strum's happened. So because it's just constant information, you have to build up your ability of being able to tell whether you hit it in time or not. So this is another thing I get my students doing. Click on and just play one note like that. I'm doing it on beat 1, could do it on any beat like that, on 2. And it just gives you a minute to... So there, I'm listening back. I've almost recorded that sound in my head and I'm listening back. I'm going, yeah, I covered the click there. That was good. Now I'll do it intentionally out of time. And you listen back to that recording in your head and you go, oh no, I heard the click before the guitar there. like that. Now I'll go slightly early. That was very early. That was fractionally early, but that was a really good example there. And do that, just do one at a time. I know it's boring. I know it's not the most glamorous thing you'll ever do, but this will make you better. If this is something you can't do, then this is what you should be working on, not on YouTube looking for your harmonic minor scale. So that is how I like to get people practicing with the click initially. Just playing dead notes. You can do a single string like that, but I just like the strum. But both is good, both is good. Now I know there's rhythm in the left hand too. The left hand has a huge role to play in terms of timing. But just to start off with, right hand, doing some strumming or some picking with the click. And just listening as well as you can and determining, was I on it, was I early, or was I late? If you're in a position where you have access to a DAW, I'm going to show you how you can use that technology to help you assess how good your timing is. So let's see how I've got it set up for this way of practicing. Okay, so we're looking at the project I'm working on now. We've got the click set to 70. We're in 4/4. I've got my guitar track here and my vocal track here. Now, obviously, when you do this, you just need a guitar track. So I'm going to put the click on now, and the click you'll hear now is the Logic click, not the Pro Metronome app on my phone. So if I press this, there's the click. And I'm going to play now, I'll do 2 bars as in time as possible. Okay, so let's have a look at what I'm looking at when I do this analysis. So I'm zooming in a fair bit. I've exaggerated the waveforms a little bit. And yeah, just zooming in to really put me on the spot. This is beat 1. You can see there's nothing to the left. So let's get into it. Right, vertical line. That vertical line is bang on the grid. So you can see my waveform starts almost spot on there. Second beat, very good. Beat 3, very good. 4, really good. Beat 1 of the next bar. And that's about as spot on as a human can hope to be, really, that one. 2, very good. 3, great. 4, that's probably the earliest one I've done there. And beat 1. Yeah, really good. So that's the kind of thing you're looking for if you're trying to go for this covering the click, really accurate timing thing. That's what your waveforms should look like. Now I'm going to play intentionally early so you can hear what it sounds like and also see what it looks like when we analyze it. So if we look at the vertical line, you can see that's where beat 1 is, and my note is early. It's to the left of that line. Same again for 2, same again for 3, and it'll be the same again for 4. We don't need to do the entire 2 bars. You get the point. This is what it looks like if you're playing early. And finally, I'll play intentionally late again, just so you can hear and see what it looks like. Okay, so let's look at that recording. And remember, I know this looks quite exaggerated and extreme, but these are the kind of things I've seen from students. So you can see the first beat was late, second beat was late, third beat late, fourth beat. They're all just slightly to the right of that vertical line. So if you see that, you know you're late. So if any of your waveforms look like my early and late examples, clearly there's work to be done. We're not aiming to be robots. We are just striving for accuracy and consistency. If you want to play with feel, you know, maybe slightly, a little bit lazy, you've still got to be accurate. It's just an excuse for sloppy playing to say, oh no, I'm just going to play by feel. You've still got to be accurate and consistent. So playing with a click will get you to a point where if you've calibrated your body and your mind to play in time, then you can stretch that and play with it to be intentionally early and kind of push things a bit, or be intentionally late and kind of drag. It's got to be intentional and, conscious. Playing with other musicians is really important. Get yourself in with some good players. Drummers are great to play with, but honestly, any good musician should have good timing and rhythm. So it's not just drummers that you need to play with. I'm going to be doing more lessons on rhythm and timing, but like I said, for now, this is a good place to start. Even if you're at a decent level, you might be surprised if you were to do that waveform analysis. You might be surprised with your accuracy. It might be great, but it might not be as good as you thought it was. So give it a go. Let me know how you get on. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you'd like to support the channel further, the link to my Patreon is also below. Thanks very much. See you next time.